Hello NYWCites. I am the administrator of the NYWC message board, Robert Lottie. April Rain 2014 is now in the books, and what a great show it was. The show kicked off with Mr. Entertainment Brian Vitko and Casanova Valentine. I hope I got his name right. They came out, and Vitko announced he was on his Bury the Hatchet 2014 tour and asked Francis Kipling Stevens to come out and bury the whatever hatchet they had. And Francis asks him, why do I not have a match tonight? And Brian says, you know, if it were up to me, you would have a match. But, you know, as I said, things are changing, things are evolving, new faces are coming around. And it's like Brian was trying to avoid the question, and Francis kept asking, why don't I have a match tonight? And then Vitko eventually said, you know, you gotta understand, I'm the commissioner. You know, I have no say over what happens in NYWC. Eventually, Francis got in with Brian and Casanova until out of the front row, former NYWC Tag Team Champion Jamie Van Leemer hits the ring, and Francis was left laying, and Vitko announced he's basically stepping down as commissioner of NYWC and didn't care what anybody thought anymore, so it looks like he's managing again, folks. We actually finally got to the action, and actually right before we had the Vitko segment, Jason Linick and returning Larry Legend had come out and had a 10-bell salute for the Ultimate Warrior who passed away just days after being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Very classy of them to do that. We kicked off with the action with Premier Athlete Anthony Nese defeating the Grim Reaper in a match that I've wanted to see for, I think, maybe the last few months, and I would have a wish list for the next coming show. But the match finally happened. I'd definitely like to see a rematch. Up next, Marty Bell challenged Chrissy Rivera for the Starlet title. It appeared that Marty had regained the title, but Boy Diva Rick Cataldo comes out and tells the referee that Marty had her feet on the ropes. The match was restarted. Chrissy hits Marty with a spear and pinned her to retain the championship. Marty attacks Chrissy after the match, prompting Cataldo to come back out and rids the ring of Marty Bell. And then Cataldo took the Starlet belt and hit Chrissy right in the face with it and said, tells Chrissy, you know, you're a crazy bitch, but I'm the baddest bitch. Probably that may lead up to a match at Fusion on May 31st. Or if not, a three-way, I'm not sure. Up next, Reckless and Wasted, Braden Knight, and JT Kaysen with the big dog Steve Forge defeated Ultimo Maya and Jay Rojo in a very fun matchup. Next matchup saw J-Ro defeat Stockade in a match where there were no countouts when J-Ro hit a low kick on on Stockade after Stockade accidentally elbowed the referee. Up next, Matt Justice and Jesse Vane came out and announced to the crowd that they were told by NYWC management that they could challenge for any tag, pick whatever tag team they want to face for the tag team titles. And they mentioned Mikey Whipper against Stockade, and they said no. That they thought Milk Chocolate, and they said no. And they said we'll wrestle Rack and Sack. So Rack and Sack hit the ring, and this of course was a rematch from Aftermath last month. The match was on, and at one point Justice was and Vane had left the ringside area, and they went through the curtain. They were deliberately counted out, but then Justice comes flying out the curtain, and we're like, what? Everybody's thinking, what's going on? And out comes Jesse Vane being carried back in the ring by former NYWC champion The Big O. Eventually, Nikki Adams rolled up Jesse Vane to win the title, win the tag team championship, and as a result, Rack and Sack are the new tag team champions. And for the first time ever, we have intergender tag team champions in NYWC. And I believe for Dickie Rods, this may be partner number 3 to win the tag team belts with. Could be wrong about that. They went to intermission at that point. After intermission, in women's starlets action, Aria Cadenza defeats Debbie Kane in a good singles matchup. Up next was Jabali, or is it Habali Jr., defeated Alvin Alvarez in a very competitive matchup. Really like this, and Jabali has a really cool mask. Up next, tag team action, Milk Chocolate defeat Apollyon and Bill Carr. And I guess they finally got their win, so I guess that's the end of that feud. Next up, the Desolate One, Rex Lawless, defeated Alpha Male Chris Stark. Or is it Starks? I really like that matchup between those two guys. Then in the main event, Mikey Whipwreck and King Mega defeated No Fear Mike Mondo and the Flawless Savior, Blake Morse. I thought that was a very fun matchup, and Mega pinned Morse to win the match. And one thing I forgot to mention, after Rack and Sack won the tag team titles, Big O took the microphone declaring that Mondo and Morse would be next on his hit list. Alright. On to personal notes, welcome back Jessica and my cousin Edward. They were at their first NYWC show since December. Great seeing Shane, John, Neil, Charlie and Josh, Greg and Sarah, Joey. I forgot who else I had noticed in the crowd. The crowd was bigger than Aftermath last month. Well, actually, I guess I'll get into this now. A memorable quote from the show. "I'll give you $1 if you smack him." Crusher Dugan, making reference to me, said that to some guy with an Intercontinental replica belt over his shoulder, and pointed right at me about that. Of course, the next show is Fusion on Saturday, May 31st. Here's my match wish list. I would like to see Mike Mono defend the heavyweight title against Mikey Whipwreck. I'd like to see Aria Cadenza against Sammy Pickles. Chrissy Rivera. Yes. Chrissy Rivera and Milk Chocolate against... No, I'm sorry. Nope. Matt Justice and Jesse Vane against Milk Chocolate. Anthony Neeson, the Grim Reaper in a rematch. Francis Kipling Stevens against Jamie Van Leemer if he is back. If not, against Casanova Valentine. After the event was over, we went down to Twisted Shamrock in Babylon, and they had karaoke there, and I got to sing like 3 songs. Among them were the late Robert Palmer's "Bad Case of Loving You," Simply Red's "Holding Back the Years," and Foreigners Waiting for a Girl Like You. Kind of wish more people would have come out, but I don't know if it was I don't know if it was due to like people going elsewhere after the show, but you know, other people did get up and sing, and Shane and Brian actually got up and sang "I Love This Bar" or whatever that hee-haw song is they sang. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, Chrissy Rivera versus Marty Bell versus Rick Cataldo, or Chrissy Rivera one-on-one with Rick Cataldo at Fusion on May 31st. I don't know how NYWC times these things, because the show was titled April Rain, REIGN, and it actually rained outside, I understand, before we got in, during the show, maybe after the show as well, but I could never tell. The streets were all wet. Okay, here's another match I'd like to see. Reckless and Wasted against Apollyon and Bill Carr. Kind of wish they would have threw me a beer. And, who else today? Am I missing anything? Wow, another memorable quote. No means no. No means no. Charlie when Milk Chocolate were double teaming Aria Cadenza. I guess that one guy had Twisted Shamrock. I guess he is behind their Facebook page because he asked me, "Oh, did you sing?" Before I ended up leaving the place. Sure hope again. I hope they can come back for another after party in the future. Oh, I wonder if Mikey Whipwreck and King Mega are going to be a full-fledged team from now on, or will they be back in the singles action? And also, missing in action was DJ Hyde. And I forgot who else might have been missing left out of this show for one reason or another. Shane, next time there is karaoke at Twisted Shamrock, I think we should do a duet. Also, Shane, I didn't get to tell you this, but you know my cousin's in a band and they're looking for some publicity. I mean, I know live bands have performed before NYWC shows started in the past. Maybe you could try to make this happen. I really would like to see, really help my cousin out. He really wants to get some publicity. But what a great night of wrestling action for NYWC. And NYWC rules.